Welcome to Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette, with your host, Steve Garrett, lifetime member of the National Corvette Museum, president of the Corvette Club of Kansas City, Missouri, and radio disc jockey at the #1 radio station in Kansas City for over 45 years. Here's Steve Garrett.
Thanks for listening and watching Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette, and the only current podcast dedicated to Corvette. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. I appreciate you tuning in. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. Want to dress up your Corvette with bright chrome or black chrome wheels? Visit wheelcraft.com and learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or offer a wheel exchange for most models, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Visit wheelcraft.com today or call them at 833-840-5334. You can listen to Corvette Today on all podcast platforms. You can also listen on your smart device. Just say, "Hey Google," or "Alexa, play the podcast called Corvette Today," and you're connected. And be sure to visit the Corvette Today website. It's CorvetteToday.com. You can access everything there, including the Corvette Today merchandise store. You can also join our Corvette Today Facebook group there as well. Also, make sure you sign up for the Corvette Today emails, notifications, and updates at CorvetteToday.ck.page. And if you like YouTube, be sure to subscribe to our Corvette Today YouTube channel. See all Corvette Today episodes on YouTube as well. And be sure to patronize our flagship sponsors of Corvette Today, mid-engine-corvetteforum.com, the forum that focuses on the new mid-engine C8 Corvette. Meet a lot of fellow Corvette enthusiasts like yourself at mid-engine-corvetteforum.com. Soul Performance Products. Developed and manufactured in the United States, the Soul Performance Products exhaust portfolio has been tailored to elevate the experience of the world's most exciting sports cars, including the latest generation of the Corvette. Soul Performance Products at SOULPP.com, the official performance exhaust of Corvette Today. Aerolarri Wheels, a true forged wheel with over 20 unique styles to choose from for your C8 and wide-body versions of the C7, C6, and C5 Corvette. It's an amazing value, starting at only $23.88 for a set of 4 fully forged wheels. And use the promo code CT111 and get $100 off your purchase. Visit aerolarri.com. That's AEROLARRI.com. And use the promo code CT111 for your $100 discount. Ciocca Corvettes. If you're a Corvette enthusiast, and I know you are since you're listening and watching Corvette Today, then you need to know about Ciocca Corvette. They're based in Atlantic City, where you can find over 100 new and pre-owned vets on the lot and inbound. Ciocca also ships Corvettes all over the country, custom ordered to your specifications. They're staffed with experienced pros who can answer all your questions. So don't compromise. Visit CioccaCorvette.com. That's CIOCCA Corvette.com and find out more. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. E5 Wheels. E5 Wheels is a passionate and dedicated wheel company that serves only Corvette. They make spun-forged wheels for your C8, C7, and C6 Corvette. With the best fitment in the industry, E5 Wheels ensures your wheels complement the aesthetics and functionality while optimizing the performance of your Corvette. Visit e5wheels.com or call them at 305-964-7429. And a shout out to Canadian Corvette Forum and Corvette Forum, welcoming Corvette enthusiasts from around the world. All right, my friend, it's time to bring you the latest Corvette news and headlines with my pal Keith Cornett from CorvetteBlogger.com. As you know, Keith is here every other week, and together we keep you current and up to date on what's happening with America's sports car. Keith, welcome back to the show. Last week, summer started officially on Thursday, but man, it feels like it's been summer already for a month here in Kansas City.
It's hot everywhere. Of course, we've seen record highs up in the Northeast as well. So hopefully you guys are driving around in your cool Corvettes and keeping cool. And of course, we got a lot of great events this summer. And, you know, here's the crazy thing. The days are only going to get shorter now. So you got to get out there and enjoy your Corvettes. Of course, we got some great events. We just had Bloomington Gold and the GM Carlisle Nationals. We still got Carlisle for Corvettes coming up. We've got the Caravan and the NCM Anniversary Show coming up. So, yeah, get out there and start driving your cars, guys.
Absolutely. Well, I'm ready to go, buddy. I have my brand new Corvette Today t-shirt on that I got from the updated Corvette Today merchandise store.
Nice.
Yes, you can go to CorvetteToday.com and see the brand new updated merchandise store. But let's start off as we always do with an update on production from the Bowling Green Assembly Plant.
Sounds good, Steve. Well, certainly things are getting interesting. We're heading into the end of the 2024 model year. Dealers are taking their final 2024 orders this week, and then all those final orders will be scheduled and will run through September 6th, which marks the end of the model year. And that's still like 11 weeks away or so. So we're going to continue to have some really robust production numbers for 2024. Speaking of those numbers, for the Stingray, we are at 25,369 units completed. So we've been averaging around 120, 130 Stingrays a day. Sometimes it'll go up to 150, but that 120, 130 appears to be the sweet spot right now. The Z06 is already at 7,713 units for 2024, and we're probably going to be closer to 8,000 completed by the end of this week. Really, again, strong numbers for Z06. The real mover, however, though, in the last week is the E-Ray, which we've seen 7 straight days of double-digit production numbers. We are currently at 581 units, and then hopefully we'll be in the 600s by this week as well. So our total numbers add up currently to 33,663 Corvettes produced so far for the 2024 model year. And again, with another 10 and a half, 11 weeks to go, we're going to have some great numbers at the end of the model year.
Yeah, and speaking of production, we saw a banner week with E-Rays last week, didn't we?
Yeah, we've been watching the E-Ray numbers daily. We go to Roger Keel's unofficial production tracker on Facebook. We saw a sudden spike of activity the week of June 10th. What was weird was previously leading up to that date, we'd seen a high of 18 cars twice. And then the weekly total, the highest was 35. So bam, all of a sudden on June 10th, they come out. They said 66 E-Rays were completed. We had another 0 on June 11th. But then for the rest of the week, we had totals of 16, 22, and 13 to get us to 117 cars produced that week. It's great to see the E-Rays being produced in those kind of numbers. And we really need them to be produced in those kinds of numbers to get that number of Stingrays coming down. We got these Stingrays out there. They're being discounted by $5,000 or more. Reduce the number of Stingrays available, increase the number of E-Rays, and maybe even some Z06s. There's still a lot of waiting lists for that car, but it looks like things are really getting out of this ramp-up phase, and then for this final push through the end of the 2024, I'm still predicting 1,000 units for E-Ray.
That would be really cool. I got really excited about this, Keith. I saw that the 2025 order guide is available for viewing and downloading already. I always look forward to that, don't you?
Oh, it's one of my favorite things ever. You just go through, you find something new. There's always something that GM doesn't tell us in there. And of course, we had a couple surprise options as expected. Nothing really big, but again, it is something new. One of those surprise options is called LPO VUP. They're engine closeout graphics. Now, we know that the engine closeouts on the coupes are those visible carbon fiber triangles on each side of your V8 engine.
Right.
Those are called the closeouts. So we're wondering what a closeout graphic is. We have to assume that it's some sort of fancier design that would be part of the engine appearance package. Again, these are only available for coupes, so they are meant to be seen. We have not seen any pictures yet, so there's going to be a surprise there at some point coming towards us. And then the other surprise option is it's an LPO. The LPOs are dealer installed options, by the way. RPO is a regular production option, but these LPOs, this one's called SLK Red Strut Bracket. And these are dealer installed options. The strut brackets are these little triangles mounted near the firewall in the coupe. And they hold those brackets that lift up the engine hatch when you're working underneath there.
Right.
They've always been black, but now that you can order them in red. So if you're getting like a red engine cover in your coupe, now you can have a little bit more red in there to match it. Again, a couple more surprise options. Everything else that was in there that was new, we learned at the NCM Bash. You can view and download the 2025 order guide at CorvetteBlogger.com. And speaking of 2025s real quick, dealers were told last week that the first allocations for 2025 ordering will happen on Thursday, July 11th. And then the first orders for 2025s will go in on Thursday, July 18th. So put that date on your calendars. It's going to be here before you know it.
If you want to order a 2025, there's your dates right there. That's pretty cool, Keith. Also, this was interesting because I haven't seen this in a long time, especially with GM and Chevrolet. There was a stop sale ordered on 2024 Corvettes because of a seatbelt retractor issue. What's going on with that?
This seems to be a problem that's kind of reared its head before in previous models, but nothing in these kinds of numbers. There was a substantial issue with the 2024s and their seatbelt retractors in which they lock up in their stowed position. So you can't pull them out. They make them basically inoperable. You can't use them. The first news we heard about this was that GM issued a stop sale order on any new 2024s with these seatbelt retractors. This means they can't be delivered until the new seatbelt retractors are added. These are cars at dealerships waiting for delivery. Now they can't be delivered delivered until they get that new part. We initially heard that about 600 cars were affected. And the good news is that GM knows the VINs of these bad seatbelt retractor cars. So they're able to notify their owners and say, hey, hold on, we got to get new ones in. We are hearing there's a little bit of an issue with parts, so we don't know how long this is going to take yet. What really happened, the other shoe dropped, and it turns out that there's more than 13,000 2024 Corvettes that might have already been delivered that have these bad seatbelt retractors in them. They're not bad yet, but they could still go bad. So GM has issued a recall for them. Affected owners will be getting a letter in the U.S. mail. And I believe you can also check your My Chevy app to see if your car is listed there as well. Those letters are going to go out sometime in July. Parts, I think, are going to be a little bit of an issue there until they ramp that up and get those to dealers so they can make those changes.
Gotcha. Also, Keith, we have a successor for the retiring Tadge Juchter who will be retiring at the end of July, don't we?
This was good news because we didn't really know what was going into. Of course, a lot of us were rooting for Josh and maybe somebody internally. But you know what? Josh is hands-on right now. And I have a feeling that the executive position, the executive chief engineer position, is a lot of meetings, you know? I anticipate a lot of meetings at GM for executive leadership there. So perhaps it's good that Josh remains hands-on as the chief engineer of the vehicle while we have Tony Roma now as the executive chief engineer. Now, what's interesting is it's not just Corvette. This is a newly formed global Corvette and performance cars team. And he'll be taking that over beginning July 1st. So we're not really exactly sure how that new organization will pan out, but I'm going to speculate a second here. Global Corvette and performance car teams, maybe we're looking at the first inklings of Corvette being its own brand.
That would be cool. It's needed that forever.
It's been a long time coming. It kind of deserves it, I think, at this point. And especially if they're talking about adding, you know, a SUV or the sedan with the Corvette badge on it as well. It needs to be under one house and it needs to be led by the Corvette team. So we'll see if that happens. But let's get back to Tony real quick, because this guy, 30 years at GM, and he has spent some time working on Corvettes and numerous Cadillacs, including the V-Series and Blackwing performance cars. Corvette owners will like the fact that Tony owns multiple Corvettes. He's got a C4 ZR1, a C6 ZR1, a C8 Z06, and a CTSV wagon. Guy likes his performance cars, and he likes his Corvettes too.
Yeah, he's one of us.
Really interesting about him is that he carries the highest level of driving certifications at GM. He has over 1,500 laps on the Nürburgring. And in fact, when they were preparing the story about him becoming the successor to Tadge, he was over in Germany racing in the ADAC 24-hour Nürburgring race.
Wow.
He's got some incredible credentials there for driving and racing and performance cars. The other thing is Tony is just 53 years old. And so we really hope that he finds his home here for the Corvette team for the remainder of his career. We say welcome home to Corvette, Tony.
Yeah, absolutely right. All right, buddy, let's take our first break. When we come back, it's Corvette racing and Corvette rumors on deck next, here on Corvette Today.
We all know that wheels make the car. Wheelcraft's PVD chrome finish in bright chrome or black chrome will take your Corvette to new levels. And it comes with a 5-year warranty. Durability is a defining feature of the Wheelcraft finish. Their PVD chrome is superior to traditional chrome, with a finish that is brake dust resistant and cleans effortlessly with soap and water. Wheelcraft offers factory wheel exchange for select C4 through C8 models, or they can apply the PVD finish to your current wheels. No matter what generation you own, Wheelcraft will transform the look of your Corvette. With every Corvette comes a unique story, and Wheelcraft has embraced this idea. When you purchase your new set of wheels, you receive a lifetime membership to the Wheelcraft Pit Crew, granting you access to your own page on Wheelcraft's website, where you can post pictures and tell your Corvette story. Visit our website at wheelcraft.com or call 833-639-4231. Arrive in style with Wheelcraft.
The National Corvette Restorer Society is celebrating its 50th anniversary this year. 50 years of affirming and promoting the preservation and restoration of the Corvette. 50 years as the foremost Corvette collector car organization for building value with its prestigious awards. Have you ever considered joining NCRS? Over 70,000 people have. We're so much more than just the nuts and bolts. The NCRS flight judging program can and often does increase the value of America's sports car by researching and publishing the leading tech manuals and judging guides for the 1953 through 2007 Corvettes, by training the best judges and by hosting local, regional, and national judging events. And when you join, you'll get award-winning magazines like Corvette Restore and Driveline all throughout the year. Joining is simple and easy. Just go to ncrs.org and sign up. There are NCRS chapters all throughout the U.S. and all around the world. Chances are there's a local chapter near you. So join NCRS today at ncrs.org. We come for the Corvettes. We stay for the friendships made along the way.
When you want to buy a Corvette, or any Chevrolet for that matter, get yours from Hendrick Chevrolet Shawnee Mission, located in Kansas City. Hendrick Chevrolet is the largest Corvette dealership and showroom in the Midwest. With a knowledgeable sales staff and Corvette sales specialists on hand, they'll help you build the Corvette of your dreams, and they ship nationwide. With Corvette certified master mechanics on site and a huge parts department with over 24,000 parts and $2 million in inventory, Hendrick Chevrolet is well equipped to take care of your every need. From sales to service to collision repair, Hendrick Chevrolet has you covered. Visit ChevyUSA.com or call 913-384-1550.
You're listening and watching Corvette Today with Steve Garrett.
Thanks for checking out Corvette Today on podcast and YouTube. It's the only current podcast dedicated to Corvette. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. You want your Corvette looking its best, don't you? Well, dress it up with bright chrome or black chrome wheels. Visit wheelcraft.com and learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or do a wheel exchange, and you get a 5-year warranty too. So visit wheelcraft.com today or give them a call, 833-639-4231. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. With me is my pal, Keith Cornett from CorvetteBlogger. We keep you current and up to date on what's happening with America's sports car every other week. In segment 2, we always talk about Corvette racing and Corvette rumors. Keith, let's talk about what Corvette racing did at Le Mans.
Absolutely. Well, TF Sport completed the 24 Hours of Le Mans with their two Z06 GT3R racers. Of course, they're racing in a World Endurance Championship, which has Le Mans as one of its stops there. This was a really challenging race due to weather conditions being very bad. We actually had a 4-hour safety car period at one point as well. The cars weren't competitive at all for challenging a podium finish or even a win. But the good news is that both cars actually finished the grueling 24-hour race. There were a couple issues. This was only the second 24-hour race for the Z06 GT3R car. Good to see that we are actually getting through some of these issues, although we did have some issues. The Z06s didn't have that overall speed. The number 82 Corvette finished the best for us. They finished in 11th place after starting 18th. The number 81 Corvette encountered a power system problem. Again, it seems to be power systems in electrical that are the issues with these cars. They did get it rectified. They did lose 10 laps, unfortunately. They also had to replace the front nose. The 82 Corvette had a clutch issue and fell back behind 3 laps, but they were able to get one of those laps back. Really hard race. The good news is that they persevered, worked through it. Both cars finished. The next race for TF Sport in the FIA World Endurance Championship is the 6 Hours of Sao Paulo. Did I say that right? In Brazil?
Yes, Sao Paulo.
And that's on Sunday, July 14th.
Sounds good. Also, how did Corvette Racing do at the Glen?
Well, we'll find out because we are actually recording this the day before the actual race. We'll have to talk about this next time. You know, we are over halfway of the 2024 racing schedule now in IMSA. After the Glen, we're going to do the Chevrolet Grand Prix at the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park in Canada on July 14th as well. So we're going to have another one of those weekends where we have 2 Corvettes racing on multiple continents, which is pretty cool.
That is really neat. Also, it seems like they're kind of getting the homologation thing requirement taken care of on these GT3Rs, which is really good, isn't it?
It is because, you know, there's a little bit of concerns. You know, as GM Racing and Pratt & Miller Motorsports began its customer program, the rules are they have to have 20 of these cars built within 2 years to meet their homologation rules. The homologation means that you're building these cars. They're not just special one-off cars that are racing. You know, we had a special retainer to be able to do that with our previous cars, the C8Rs, to race in GT3. But these are actual GT3 cars. They have to be built by the global GT3 specs. And the rules are you have to have 20 of them out there in 2 years. We know that 8 cars have already been built and handed out, and GM Racing's Christine Bagney told Sports Car 365 that as many as a dozen more customer cars could be available for 2025. We might also see some of the existing teams pick up another car as a spare. We do know that TF Sport had a spare car for Le Mans. There, of course, is still a few other series out there that could be targeted for a new Z06 GT3R team. So it looks like it's happening, you know, and what would be really cool eventually to get to the point where we can start to see some of these cars being sold just a dedicated track machine to some gentleman racers out there that can just do their own track days and not be part of a team or anything like that. It looks like we're on track to have those 20 cars by the end of 2025. That's all good news.
Very nice. Also, on Thursday of last week, we got the official release date of the new C8 ZR1.
Yeah, you know, all kinds of news. Again, does it ever stop, Steve, really?
No.
Chevrolet officially announced that the C8 ZR1 will be revealed on July 25th, 2024. GM provided no other details. They don't even tell us that the car is going to arrive to customers as a 2025 or 2026. They specifically said C8 ZR1. No location or time yet, no model year yet. We don't even know if GM is going to offer this as an online event or if only selected media will be invited and it'll do their thing. Regardless if this is in person or online, we know there's going to be another huge takeover of the internet on July 25th. people will be tuning in to find out more about the specs of the ZR1. Really exciting stuff there. Glad to see we're getting some movement on this. Pretty exciting to have another Corvette model on the horizon.
Buddy, I don't know why, but I am just so psyched up for this new ZR1. I can't wait for this thing. This will be really great.
Because it's unthinkable, Steve. I'm trying to think what that means.
I guess we'll find out, won't we, in July? Also, we did see some of the prototypes still out, but we saw Taj and Harlan along for the ride, which is pretty cool. They've got to be almost ready to go.
Yeah, we were talking about these group of engineers doing this run around Ohio and West Virginia and Pennsylvania. After our last show, I think it was over that weekend, we found out they're still testing with that Ferrari SF90 Stradale.
Nice.
We had the C8 Corvette prototypes with the different wings on them. So there's like 3 different wing configurations for the coupe. But we did see familiar faces on this ride. Retiring engineer Taj Ducker and Corvette product manager Harlan Charles were along for the ride. So we were thinking for previous launches, the Corvette engineering team likes to take a big trip. This is what they call like their final development ride or their final evaluation. As we had Taj and Harlan along for this ride, and knowing that the ZR1 reveal is just a little over a month away now, we have to think that this might have been the final validation drive for the ZR1. Now everything's going in the can. They've got their production specs ready. There might be some further updates to it, but 95% of it looks like it's probably completed. We'll have the reveal, and then the big news is, when will that car be available?
Yeah, can't wait. Absolutely can't wait. They're probably doing little tweaks, like you said, crossing all the T's and dotting all the I's and getting it ready to go. But end of July, it'll be a big, big day, buddy. That's for sure.
Yeah, pretty exciting.
Let's take our final break, Keith. When we come back, it's the lighter side of Corvette on deck next, here on Corvette Today.
Are you ready for a better insurance policy without the Corvette tax? With Agreed Value Protection, the value of your collector vehicle will never change. Plus, you'll save money. Get a quick quote at ncminsurance.com.
Hey, honey, are you awake?
I am now.
I can't sleep. Since turning 50, I keep dreaming of a red door and a blue door, somehow knowing there are only choices for retirement.
Okay.
Through the red door, we outlive our money. We have to rely on our kids. We're stuck on a fixed income. It's terrifying.
Yeah, that would suck.
But through the blue door, our money outlives us. We retire on our terms. Our kids stay our kids, not our caretakers. We make work optional.
Yes, that's much better. That's what I want too. But what do we do?
We call True Wealth & Company at 913-653-8783. They specialize in helping successful people make work optional. They're our fiduciary Blue Door personal wealth managers.
Hey, where are you going? It's 3 a.m.
I can't sleep. I'm going to check out True Wealth & Company online at retirewithtrue.com. That Blue Door is going to be our retirement.
913-653-8783. Visit us online at retirewithtrue.com. Investment advice offered through True Wealth & Company, LLC, a registered investment advisor in the state of Kansas.
VetFinders.com is the Internet's original Corvette classified ads website, with classified ads starting at just $25. And every ad runs until your Corvette is sold. If you're in the market for a Corvette, VetFinders.com has over 500 Corvettes for sale from all around the USA and Canada, and covering all 8 generations. Visit VetFinders.com, the Internet's destination for buying and selling Corvettes. That's VETTE Finders.com.
Rev up your ride with the ultimate upgrade. The Radiator Grill Store is your go-to destination for top-notch C8 Corvette Stingray, Z06, and E-Ray accessories. Elevate your style with custom-painted engine bay covers, sleek front splitters, and side skirts that scream sophistication. Keep your C8 protected with premium Radiator Grill screens. Stand out from the crowd at car shows and beyond. Use code CT10 for an exclusive 10% discount off your total purchase at radiatorgrillstore.com. Don't miss out on turning heads. Upgrade your Corvette today.
And now, back to Corvette Today with your host and my husband, Steve Garrett.
Thanks once again for listening and watching Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. If you want your Corvette looking its best, dress it up with bright chrome or black chrome wheels. Visit wheelcraft.com and learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or do a wheel exchange, and you get a 5-year warranty too. So visit wheelcraft.com today or just give them a call, 833 639-4231. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. With me is my buddy Keith Cornett from CorvetteBlogger. Don't forget, if you want a deeper dive into any of the stories that Keith and I cover on this show, you can always go to CorvetteBlogger.com. In this final segment, we always talk about the lighter side of Corvette. Keith, I was surprised. GM has already discontinued all 7 colors that are going away for next year.
Yeah, this was really interesting because we had all these dates associated to when the build-outs of these 7 colors were going to be happening. It's like they put out these dates and then they just arbitrarily go away the next announcement. So they put out these dates. We saw like Hypersonic Gray through August 8th, I believe. And then GM suddenly announced Amplify Orange and Accelerate Yellow were going away. And then for this final 2024 order cycle, all 5 colors are unavailable. Any of these 7 colors for people that are trying to order a car right now, you can't get it. You have to go with the traditional white, red, black, some blues, but you can't get any of the other stuff. I kind of like the fact that we have this story in the lighter section, but for the last month, GM has put out these dates. They just immediately change it. No way to run a car company if dealers have no idea what their customers will be allowed to order. Really would like to see some of these communications snafus worked out. I know we've talked about communication with dealers and how that filters down to the customers. It's a really important part of that whole customer relationship. Dealers aren't happy about not knowing what dates are happening, and customers are stuck in the air because they rely on their dealers for that info. We understand they're getting rid of colors or bringing in new colors. Just let us know and give us these dates in advance so we have some way to plan for it.
Bring on the new colors, that's for sure.
Yeah, we know more than a couple people that have a couple orders going in this cycle and the last cycle that have just had to completely change their orders because that color is going away.
Wow. Also, Keith, this is really cool. The National Corvette Museum has a new exhibit called Ground to Sky, and it tells the story of the sinkhole, which is really neat.
Yeah, it's the 10th anniversary of the infamous sinkhole this year, but this is a little different. This exhibit, Ground to Sky, the Sinkhole Reimagined, serves as a tribute to the growth and vision of the National Corvette Museum and a reminder to Corvette enthusiasts worldwide how far the NCM has come since that morning in 2014 when we found out that the floor had collapsed in the Sky Dome and swallowed 8 Corvettes. They'll have some of the cars that were rescued from the sinkhole, and then there's a really cool timeline that shows everything from the sinkhole happening through today of all the record growth and attendance that came afterwards. You know, that viral video just went crazy showing the floor buckling and then dropping.
Right.
You know, it was everywhere. There was news stations in Japan talking about it. It was a pretty cool thing. I maintain that it was one of the best things that ever happened to the NCM.
True.
The amount of free publicity and advertising and people knowing that there is a Corvette museum just skyrocketed. They called it making lemonade out of lemons.
Yes.
They do have certainly a story to tell, so I'm anxious to see this new exhibit when we go up there for the anniversary show.
Me too. And just a little bit of trivia, Corvette is the only American car brand that has its own museum. That's pretty cool. Also, Keith, I was really surprised to see this. Willow Springs International Raceway is up for sale. Get out your checkbook.
Yeah, the family that's owned the Willow Springs Raceway facility since 1962 has put the track up for sale. There's no word on price, but we learned that YouTuber Amelia Hartford is one of these that are spearheading an effort to buy it.
Wow.
The track has a long history, designated as an official California point of historical interest in 1996. And of course, many events are held there. And it also serves as a great place for movies, TVs, and commercials. You know, one of the recent movies that was filmed there was Ford versus Ferrari.
Right.
And there's a great scene at Willow Springs where Ken Miles is racing a Cobra against his Corvette competitors there. Pretty interesting. You know, luckily Willow Springs is kind of out there in the wilderness, unlike other tracks that were out there, and then growth from residential is kind of surrounding them. We've seen that with Laguna Seca. We've seen that at tracks here in Florida, most notably Cletus's Speed'em factory is getting encroached on now. And of course, what will happen is people start complaining and tracks get shut down, and they've done nothing but do what they've always done for the last 50 years. Hopefully a responsible ownership group will buy Willow Springs and be able to keep some of that great stuff that's been happening out there for the last 50-some, 60-some years. Keep it going.
Yeah. Amelia, give me a call and let me know how things are going. Also, buddy, I was really sorry to see this. Some dealerships are suffering from ransomware attacks with their software, and it's really causing problems with them getting in contact with some of their buyers.
Yeah, it was really crazy. So Automotive News reported that it was a major cyber attack that affects maybe upwards of 15,000 automotive dealerships in the country.
Right.
They all rely on a third party called CDK Global, and they make this dealer management software that handles everything from customer info, accounting, finance, vehicle inventory. Service departments use it for parts ordering or parts lookup. So this cyber attack really kind of shut them down for a couple of days. All these dealers had to resort to pen and pencil to do daily functions as they were working their way through through this. We did hear that this was a cyber ransom event. No idea how much they were targeting from this company, but after 2 days and the amount of commerce that's been disrupted, it's got to be pretty substantial. Hopefully they've been able to get through this. Their systems are back up and dealers are running back as normal.
Yeah, if you're dealing with your dealership on anything, whether it's parts, service, or even purchasing a new car, give them a little bit of leeway because they are suffering from this ransomware attack and things are pretty darn difficult for them to do business right now. Also, Keith, let's end it on a cool note. We've got a brand new E-Ray thank you gift that looks fantastic.
Man, this is really cool. So, for the C8 generation, GM really stepped up their quality of what we call their thank you gifts to new Corvette buyers. Previous owners of C7 Corvettes, I think you got a letter and you got a poster.
Right.
And now the C8 buyers, we get these really cool, they call them speed shape models. It looks like a representation of your car. It's painted in the same color as your car. It's got your VIN number on it. It makes a really neat display. They came out with one for the Z06, a little bit different than the Stingray. And now we've got the E-Ray one. It's glass. It's see-through. You can look through it. You can see the front drive motor, you can see the battery pack, and then you can see the rear V8 engine. It still has your VIN number on it, but when it sits on the base, like if you get a red one, you can look through the base and see red. So there's like a red outline that the car sits on. So it does still show the representation of the color of your car as well. Just a really neat thank you gift. People have started posting their pictures online of them. Yeah, they are really cool. It makes you wonder what they're going to do for ZR1 next.
Oh, yeah.
Each speed shape model has just gotten better and better as they've introduced them. A really neat event that they do this for. E-Ray people are getting theirs early, but there's only 500 and some that have been built so far. I know for Stingray people, they tend to run about 6 to 9 months or even longer behind when you bought the car versus when you get your speed shape gift. If you bought a new car, you will get one. Just hang in there and enjoy it and show it when you get it off.
Yeah, and we'll have pictures of it on the YouTube version of this Corvette Today show. Check it out and make sure you look at them because they are really, really cool.
Yes, they are.
Well, buddy, thank you for being back on Corvette Today. We will talk to you and see you in 2 weeks.
My pleasure, Steve. It's a lot of fun. So much Corvette news out there. It's only going to continue to drop. Maybe we'll get some advance notice of some of the ZR1 stuff happening. The next time we're going to be together is going to be in July. This year is just flying by. Again, we see you on the roads. Wave those hands.
Thanks again for listening and watching Corvette Today. And be sure to tell your family, friends, and other Corvette enthusiasts about the Corvette Today show. And thanks to our sponsors, Wheelcraft. Want to dress up your Corvette with bright chrome or black chrome wheels? Visit wheelcraft.com to learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or offer a wheel exchange for most models, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Visit wheelcraft.com today or call 833-639-4231. Soul Performance Products at SOULPP.com, the official performance exhaust of Corvette Today. Ciocca Corvette at CIOCCA Corvette.com. E5 Wheels at E5Wheels.com. True Wealth & Company at RetireWithTrue.com. Also, Aerolarri Wheels. Get $100 off your purchase with the new promo code CT111 at Aerolarri.com. And Hendrick Chevrolet in Kansas City at ChevyUSA.com.
Thanks for checking out Corvette Today on podcast and YouTube. If you'd like to contact Steve with ideas for Corvette Today, you can email him at stevegarrettdj@gmail.com. Garrett has 2 R's and 2 T's. That's stevegarrettdj@gmail.com. Also, sign up for email notifications at corvettetoday.ck.page. Follow Steve and the show on social media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Threads at Steve Garrett DJ. Thanks again for listening and watching Corvette Today.